What are we supposed to eat? It feels like we are in a war between plants and animals. Are plants good for us? Are animals bad for us? Is meat bad? What's the diet that we should be eating? What are we supposed to be eating? We have never been so confused, and I think it's important to first look at the problem. We've been lied to about what we consider food. If you live in America, then you are told this is food. Your standard American diet. Highly processed, highly addictive, nutrient-poor foods. But guess what? These foods were invented. They were invented about 200 years ago during the Industrial Revolution. That also coincides with the beginning of our sickness. Diabetes, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, all of these things went up in the last 200 years. So, what did we eat before that? What did our ancestors eat? Let's finally put the argument to rest on what we are supposed to eat. And to answer that, we must look at evolution. You remember this image where it illustrates that we evolved from this chimp-looking animal? Two very important things happen in the evolution of mankind. Our diet changed twice. It all started when we left the trees. Let's look at our evolution timeline. Evolution of man, or Homo sapiens, started 2.5 million years ago when we left the trees. We left the trees because the earth was going through an ice age. Climates were changing, and we had to find new territories to live. We began to explore these new territories filled with herd animals, grasslands, and new predators. And most importantly, our diet changed. You see, all animals are omnivores. But as you can see, some eat meat and some eat fruit. But animals have a preference when it comes to digesting and absorbing nutrients. Some animals are designed to absorb nutrients from plants better and some from meat. Let's look at the differences in animal stomachs. You can see here a big difference is the cecum. Cecum is a pouch or large tube-like structure. It's used to absorb fluids and nutrients and salts. The difference is herbivores have a giant cecum, like the size of a football. And we have a small cecum, like the size of my pinky. So you can see there are very big differences between humans and gorilla stomachs. We have a more similar stomach to a tiger. True herbivores have fermentation chambers, categorized as hindgut or foregut. These chambers are there to help further break down plant matter. You can see the difference here between a horse and a cow. Horses, which are hindgut fermenters, ferment their food after digestion in their enlarged cecum, and cows, which are foregut fermenters, ferment their food before digestion in one of their specialized rumen chambers. Gorillas are hindgut fermenters. Humans, on the other hand, don't have fermentation chambers. Let's look at the primate gut distribution. This chart shows the relative gut volume percentage of primates. You can see here the biggest differences are humans have a higher percentage of small bowel or small intestines and a smaller percentage of colon compared to the other primates. This chart shows how our stomachs are better suited for a nutrient-dense diet. Another major difference is in the stomach pH levels. pH levels are categorized from 1 to 14, 1 being highly acidic like battery acid and lemon juice, 14 being highly alkaline, like bleach and drain cleaner, and of course 7, which is neutral like water. It's important to understand the more acidic the stomach, the better chances it has to break down harmful bacteria. A carnivore or a scavenger will have a higher acidic stomach to help break down the dangerous pathogens that can be found in meat or in flesh, and a herbivore will have a less acidic stomach due to specializing in digesting plant matter. The pH level of an animal's stomach will determine what their diet consists of. Let's look at a chart showing the different pH levels of animals. You can see here other primates like the baboon have a pH of 3.7. Elephants have a pH of 3.3. who are both better suited for breaking down plant matter. But humans have a highly acidic stomach, pH level of 1.5, similar to a falcon or a hawk, who are categorized as scavengers. This further demonstrates humans must have evolved to eat like scavengers, eating meat and organs from dead carcasses. You see, two very important things happen in evolution. Our brains got bigger and our stomachs got smaller. And we know this because they have fossils of earliest humans. You can see here in the brain evolution, our brains got bigger, and the only way this could have happened is if we ate more nutrient-dense foods. 1.8 million years ago, our ancestors began to walk upright to cover more distance and see further. They were called Homo erectus, which means upright man. They walked across grasslands and ate whatever they could find. These earliest humans had to find ways to stay warm and eat. But there wasn't much plant food because everything started freezing. So they had to get their nutrients from animals. First from dead carcasses they found, to hunting small animals. And by the way, chimpanzees, who have 99% of our DNA and is our closest relative, hunt. I know I was under the assumption that they just eat fruits all day, but they actually don't just eat fruits. They also hunt smaller animals. You can see in this video chimps working together to hunt smaller animals. So our earliest ancestors had to have the capabilities to hunt. Now we were just hunting bigger animals, but we needed some sort of weapon to take these bigger animals down. So we developed stone tools and the throwing arm. The throwing arm is very interesting. Humans can run better than any other primate and throw better than any other animal. Look at our sports. They're designed around the throwing arm. Football, baseball, basketball, all of these designed around the throwing arm. We became really good at working together, surrounding these animals, and throwing rocks at their heads. Rocks were our first weapon. Think about it. We have no claws, no fangs. We're not the fastest or the strongest animals, but we're really good at working together and throwing things. Touchdown. Let's look at our sports today. Sports are goal-oriented, like hunting. So hunting was our first sport. It wasn't really a sport, it was more survival. But us celebrating for a touchdown is no different from our ancestors celebrating after taking down a bison. Could you imagine how good it would feel to bring back 500 pounds of food to your tribe, knowing your family and friends are going to be able to eat and live another day? Now that's a reason to celebrate. We feed our tribe and we can prolong our existence. We could use other parts of the animals too. We could use its fur to stay warm. We could use their bones to make tools. And did you know the first cave drawings depicts early hunting? Early humans chasing animals with spears. So, over the next 2 million years, we became very good at this and we just kept repeating this process. And we evolved to the top of the food chain. We became great hunters. We are the people of tools. Homo sapiens, 200,000 years ago. We are nothing without our tools. Tools enabled us to manipulate our environment. We make fire to stay warm and cook our foods. Fire and fur were really important for us to travel great distances and migrate all around the world. No animal could do that. You'll never see a zebra in the Arctic Circle or a polar bear in the desert. With fur and fire and our new upright postures, we could travel great distances, we could survive most climates, and we could go wherever we want. And we did. Look at this map showing how we migrated throughout the world. We walked all over the world and settled where we could find resources. All these changes led to a more nutrient-dense diet, which led to a bigger brain and a small stomach. How crazy is that? I bet we're the only animals that changed our diets, going from a plant-based diet to a meat-based diet. It's crazy. We were never supposed to change our diets. But because our climate changed and we had the will to survive, we did it. We made it. Well, our ancestors made it. If it wasn't for the efforts of our ancestors, we would not be here. What they accomplished is beyond incredible. Thanks to them, we have grocery stores, shelters, running water. We have planes, cars, electricity to power our cities. The very fact that you could hear what I am saying is because our ancestors ate meat. More meat led to more nutrients. More nutrients led to smarter brains. Smarter brains led to better tools and language. Language allowed us to better communicate. Better communication allowed us to have better cooperation. And better cooperation led to our species thriving and surviving. Now, I don't want to completely rule out plants. We definitely ate plants when they were available and everything wasn't frozen. We ate nuts and fruits and vegetables and tubers, anything we could find. Now, I do want to say you could temporarily survive on plants, but we evolved away from plants towards a highly carnivorous diet. So a plant-based diet will eventually lead to nutrient deficiencies. We are here because our ancestors ate meat. Eating meat is what made us human. So you see, if you understand human evolution, you can see what we ate and what we're supposed to eat. A highly carnivorous diet. But something very interesting happened next. Our diets changed again.